Welcome to the lecture on shock waves. In this video lecture, you are going to learn Mach number, distinction between different waves, shock waves, properties of shock waves, control volume, and basics of conservation laws.
Shock waves are features seen in supersonic flows that cause instantaneous increase in the flow properties such as pressure, temperature, and density. These can cause changes in the velocity of the flow either just in its magnitude or direction. Before discussing the world of shock waves, some basic ideas of the gas dynamics are essential. So before that, let us discuss about the acoustic waves or the sound waves. An acoustic wave is simply a sound wave. It travels with the speed of 333 meters per second in air at standard temperature pressure. So more about that speed of the sound we will discuss later. The amplitude of the acoustic waves is very small. They are longitudinal waves, that is, the direction of the vibration of the particle is parallel to the direction of the propagation of the waves, that is the longitudinal waves. These waves can propagate in solids, liquids and gases, or material medium is needed for the propagation of the acoustic waves or the sound waves. So sound waves cannot propagate through the vacuum. So these acoustic waves are very weak waves. They will cause very slight changes in the properties of the fluid through which they propagate. That is, when the sound waves propagates through the medium, there will not be a much change in its pressure, temperature or the density. So since the changes in these fluid properties are very small, they are considered to be isentropic. By definition, an isentropic process is one which is not only reversible but also one that does not include any heat transfer into or out of the system. Based on the frequencies of the waves, acoustic waves can be classified into three categories. First one is the infrasonic waves. Infrasonic waves are acoustic waves having the frequency less than 20 Hz. So infrasonic waves are having the frequency less than 20 Hz. Second one is audible waves. So audible waves are acoustic waves having the frequency 20 Hz to 20 kHz. The minimum frequency is 20 Hz and maximum frequency is 20 kHz. Third one is the ultrasonic waves. Ultrasonic waves are acoustic waves having frequencies beyond 20 kHz. So ultrasonic waves are having the frequency more than 20 kHz. So the human ear is not sensitive to both these infrasonic and ultrasonic waves. Speed of sound. The speed of sound in air, generally denoted as A, is a parameter of immense importance in the field of aerodynamics. For a perfect gas which follows the ideal gas equation, the speed of the sound can be expressed as A is equal to square root of gamma RT, where gamma is the ratio of the specific heats, that is gamma is equal to Cp by Cv, where Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure and Cv is the specific heat at constant volume. R is the specific gas constant and T is the temperature of the gas. So if you calculate the this A substituting for gamma, R and T as STP, we will get the value of A as 333, that is 333 meter per second. Mach number. In aerodynamics, the speeds of the bodies moving in a fluid medium are classified into different categories on the basis of Mach number. It is defined as the ratio of the speed of the object to the speed of the sound in the given medium. That is, Mach number is equal to speed of the object in the medium divided by the speed of the sound in the same medium. So m is equal to v divided by a, where m denotes the Mach number, v is the speed of the object relative to the medium, and a is the speed of the sound in the medium. Since Mach number is the ratio of the speeds, it does not have a unit. As the name itself indicates, it is the pure number. Based on the value of the Mach number, that is m, the flow can be categorized broadly into two categories. If m is lesser than 1, is called subsonic regime, and m is greater than 1 is called supersonic regime. Each of these two categories exhibit distinct features and are unique to itself. The region of 0.8 to 1.2, that is, if the Mach number is in between 0.8 and 1.2, it is referred as a transonic region. This region tends to exhibit characteristics of both subsonic and supersonic flow, and is a significant field of study as commercial airplanes generally travel with the Mach number of around 0.8. If Mach number is greater than 5, it is called hypersonic regime. These threshold Mach numbers that separate the different regimes are not fixed, and no sudden change happens to the flow as it crosses that number. They are only indicative of the point where the difference in the features of flow begins to be observed. So this table summarizes the different regimes of flow based on their speed with their respective Mach number ranges. Subsonic waves. If the speed of the mechanical wave or body moving in the fluid is lesser than that of the sound, then such a speed is referred to as a subsonic, and the wave is a subsonic wave. So all subsonic waves have Mach number lesser than 1. So all subsonic waves have m smaller than 1. In these figures, consider an object starting from the point A and moving towards the point B with the velocity v. Each circle in the figure denotes the distance that the disturbance has propagated starting from the central point along the radius. Now these disturbances travel at the speed of sound. Therefore, if we are to consider the object as a vehicle with the horn blaring, then each circle denotes the distance to which the sound of a horn can be heard. For instance, for the largest circle has its center at A and its radius is AT, which is the speed of the sound multiplied by the time elapsed, where A is the speed of the sound and T is the time elapsed. As time passes on, each of these circles gets bigger and bigger, that is, the horn is heard further and further away. In this particular case, that is in the case of subsonic waves, where v is smaller than a, that is velocity of the vehicle is smaller than the velocity of the sound, the sound waves travel faster than the vehicle. Therefore, the presence of the vehicle can be detected by somebody located slightly off the path even before the vehicle crosses him. In the second case, that is in the sonic case, where V is equal to A, that is the velocity of the vehicle is equal to the velocity of the sound, the person will hear the horn only as soon as the vehicle reaches his location. Or in the subsonic case, for a body moving with the subsonic speed, the sound emitted by it manages to move ahead and away from the body since it is faster than the body. Examples: the speeds of almost all the vehicles such as motor cars or trains that we see moving on the road fall in the subsonic category. Supersonic waves. Supersonic waves are the mechanical waves which travel with the speeds greater than that of the sound. That is, the Mach number for the supersonic waves is greater than 1. So as in the earlier case, let us consider a vehicle starting at the point A. So this is the starting point. So now the body or the vehicle is moving with velocity greater than the velocity of the sound. So that is V is greater than A. Then the horn be heard by the person only when he comes within this particular cone, so which is termed as the Mach cone. Therefore, in this case, the sound waves are lagging behind the horn and can be heard only after the vehicle passes the observer. In the realistic version, this scenario is when an aircraft flies above your head, you can hear the subsonic aircraft approaching even before you see it. But if it is traveling with the supersonic speed, if you look upwards, at the instant you hear the sound of its engine, the craft would have already passed you. This is because you or the observer are brought into the Mach cone only after the aeroplane reaches the more forward location. Or in other words, a body or the vehicle zooms ahead by piercing its own sound curtains, leaving behind the series of expanding sound waves with their centers displaced continuously along its trajectory in the case of supersonic waves. The amplitude of the supersonic waves are very high and they affect the medium through which they are moving. Examples: the fighter planes, that is they are having the velocity greater than the velocity of the sound. So what is a Mach cone? A common tangent drawn to the expanding sound waves emitted from the body at the supersonic speed formulates a cone called Mach cone. So this is the Mach cone. So this is the expanding sound waves. These circles represent the expanding sound waves. So this is the common tangent drawn. So this gives the cone which is called a Mach cone. Mach angle, the angle made by the tangent with the axis of the Mach cone is called a Mach angle. So this is the axis. This is the axis and this is the tangent drawn, the angle between those two. So this is mu. So mu represents the Mach angle. So there is a relationship between the Mach angle and the Mach number. So that is mu is equal to sine inverse of 1 by m. So here m represents the Mach number. Mu is the Mach angle. There is a speed range which overlaps on the subsonic and supersonic ranges. So that is called transonic waves. Transonic waves have speed such that its Mach number is between 0.8 and 1.2. So this is the region where the phase changes from the subsonic to supersonic takes place. This is the gray area where there is a overlapping of some of the characteristics of both the subsonic and supersonic speeds. In the supersonic range, we have a special class of waves called hypersonic waves. Supersonic waves which are moving with the speed such that Mach number is greater than 5 or m is greater than 5 are called hypersonic waves. Now let us discuss about the shock waves. Any fluid that propagates at supersonic speeds gives rise to a shock wave. Shock wave is the strong pressure wave in any elastic medium such as air, water or solid substance produced by supersonic aircraft, explosions, lightning and other phenomena that create violent changes in pressure. So, shock waves are produced by a sudden dissipation of mechanical energy in a medium enclosed in a small space. Consider an example of inflated balloon. Energy is stored inside the balloon in terms of high pressure. If we prick the balloon using the pin, the energy is suddenly released. The most preferred means is shock waves. If a pressure gauge is placed near the balloon, there is a sudden increase in the pressure when the shock wave crosses the pressure gauge. As a shock wave is formulated, it becomes a thin, distinct surface by the medium itself. Flow quantities like pressure, temperature reaches the very high value when the shock wave front crosses the region of the medium. Contrary to this, when sound wave propagates, there is no much change in the flow quantities like pressure, temperature, density, etc. The figure shows the shock wave in the case of bomb explosion. So we can see the shock wave front here. So across which there is a large change in the flow quantities like temperature, pressure, etc. So inside this one there is a very high temperature and pressure. So outside this one there is a normal temperature and pressure. So this wavefront is moving with velocity greater than the velocity of the sound. That is, it is moving in the supersonic speed. In aerodynamics, the shock wave is defined in technical terms as follows. A shock wave is a narrow surface that manifests as a discontinuity in a fluid medium in which it is propagating with the supersonic speed. The disturbance is characterized by a sudden increase in pressure, temperature and density of the gas through which it propagates. Now let us discuss the production of the shock waves. Shock waves are produced by the object moving with the speed greater than the speed of the sound. Whenever the object or the vehicle propagates with velocity greater than the velocity of the sound, so then they produces the shock waves. For example, when the aircraft moves with the Mach number greater than 1, so it produces the shock waves. That shock waves in turn affects the propagation of that vehicle itself. Explosions, lightning or other phenomena that create violent changes in the pressure can produce the shock waves. Shock waves can also be produced by a sudden dissipation of mechanical energy in a medium enclosed in a small space, as I have given the example of bursting of a balloon or the cracker. So that also produces the shock waves. Types of shock waves. Depending upon the magnitude of the temperature, pressure, etc. in the compressed region, the shock waves can be classified into two categories. First one is the strong shock wave. So this strong shock wave will have high Mach number and they possess very high pressure and temperature in the compressed region. Examples: lightning, thunder, or bomb explosions, etc. Second one is the weak shock waves. So they have low Mach number, that is Mach number is very close to 1, and they possess a low pressure and temperature in the compressed region. Examples: explosion of the cracker or bursting of a tire or balloon, etc. So depending upon the direction of the propagation of the shock waves, there are different types of shock waves, like normal shock waves or the oblique shock waves, etc. Now let us discuss some properties of these shock waves. First one, they always travel in the medium with the Mach number exceeding 1. That is, the shock waves are traveling with velocity greater than the velocity of the sound. Second one, shock waves obey the laws of fluid dynamics. Third one, the effect caused by the shock waves results in increase in entropy. That means the shock waves decreases the energy which can be extracted as work, or in other words, shock waves are a strongly irreversible process. Fourth one, when a shock wave is formed, there is a distinct surface created by the medium itself called shock front. So typical thickness of the shock front is a few micrometers. Fifth one, shock waves are characterized by a sudden increase in pressure, temperature, and density of the gas through which it propagates. Figure represents the variation of the pressure with the time. So when a shock wave or the shock front arrives at a particular place, the pressure suddenly increases to maximum value. Here there exists a small time gap within which the pressure will remain steady at the raised value depicted by this particular horizontal region. Then it drops in this particular region due to the action of returning expansion waves on the shocked gas. However, theoretically, if the expansion waves do not reach the shocked gas, it will remain in the elevated pressure indefinitely. Sixth one, shock waves propagate in a manner different from that of the caustic waves. In particular, shock waves travel faster than sound and their speed increases as the amplitude is increased. So here the speed of the shock waves depends upon the amplitude of the wave, whereas in the case of sound wave, the speed of the sound wave remains constant. The intensity of shock wave decreases faster than that of the sound wave because some of the energy of the shock wave is expended to heat the medium in which it travels, whereas sound waves are not heating the medium in which they travel. So therefore, the intensity of shock wave decreases rapidly than the sound waves. Seventh one, while they turn around the convex corner, they break up into very large number of expanding supersonic waves diverging from a central spot, and the process is called supersonic expansion fan. So figure gives the flow around the expansion corner, showing the centered expansion fan which causes the supersonic flow to accelerate around the corner, thereby causing flow expansion. Control volume. In order to understand shock waves or to analyze the shock wave, we need some model, so that is called control volume. Control volume is a model on the basis of which the shock waves are analyzed. It is an imaginary thin envelope that surrounds the shock front, within which there is a sharp increase in the temperature, pressure and density in the compressed media. So figure represents the control volume. So here this is the control volume, which has two surfaces. So this one is the pre-shock surface and this is the post-shock surface. So the distance between these surfaces is very small. However, it covers the entire shock front. So at this side, that is on the free shock side, these are the different flow quantities. That is, ρ1 is the density, u1 is the velocity, T1 is the temperature, P1 is the pressure and H1 is the enthalpy. Similarly, on the post-shock side, ρ2 is the density, u2 is the velocity, T2 is the temperature, P2 is the pressure and H2 is the enthalpy. So it is assumed that within this volume the heat energy is constant, that is, no heat leaves or gets into this volume. So using this model, one can find out the value of different flow quantities. The equations for conservation of mass, momentum and energy are the governing equations for the control volume. So let us discuss basics of conservation of mass, momentum and energy. Conservation means the maintenance of certain quantities constant or unchanged during the physical processes. Conservation laws apply to the closed system. A closed system is the one that does not exchange any matter with the outside and is not acted on by the outside forces. First one, law of conservation of mass. The total mass of the isolated system remains unchanged and is independent of any chemical and physical changes that could occur within the system. So it is expressed as, or mathematically it can be expressed as, ρ1 u1 is equal to ρ2 u2, where ρ1 and ρ2 are the densities on the free shock side and post shock side respectively, and u1 and u2 are the velocities on pre shock side and post shock side respectively. Second one is the law of conservation of momentum. In a closed system, total momentum remains constant. It can also be stated as, when two objects collide in an isolated system, total momentum before the collision is equal to the total momentum after the collision. So mathematically it can be expressed as P1 plus ρ1 into u1 squared is equal to P2 plus ρ2 into u2 squared. So as explained earlier, here P1 is the pressure on the pre-shock side and P2 is that in the post-shock side. Law of conservation of energy. The total energy of the closed system remains constant, is independent of any changes occurring within the system. So it can be expressed as H1 plus U1 squared by 2 is equal to H2 plus U2 squared by 2. So here H1 is the enthalpy on the pre-shock side and H2 is that in the post-shock side. U1 is the velocity in the pre-shock side and U2 is the velocity in the post-shock side. So these are the basics of conservation laws, that is conservation of mass, conservation of momentum, and conservation of energy. Thank you.